So our next session is coming up. I think we're just miking up our speaker. So, oh no, you have a hand mic, so that's great. So we're going to be having a live demo, which is going to be quite exciting. It's actually a live coding session, and quite surreal as well, so that'll be fundamentally good. I'd like to bring on stage Sridhar Gollapudi, Head of Partnerships and Solutions, Telecom Google Cloud, and also Eran Haggiag, Executive Chairman of ClearX.
No, okay. Let's try to get the mic on. 1, 2, 3. For the time being, try to smile. I'm going to take some pictures of you, envisioning an historical moment. So that's good, that's good. A little bit more smiles. That's great. Okay. Soon enough, I will be able to see probably all your LinkedIn profiles, all your latest Instagram photos, events that you've done, and stuff like that. But this is quite weird to be with something like that on stage, right? So if we are successful with everything we're doing here, that will look like normal glasses, maybe eye contacts, or even connected directly to our brains. So this is what the future is all about, right? I'm very excited and humbled to be here today. I think this is a pivotal moment in the telecommunication industry and in the world in general. We're about to envision probably the largest collaboration of telecommunication companies since the winning of the GSM standard and GSMA creating the roaming environment. I want to really thank the GSMA and Henry for you leading this. I think this is the most wonderful initiative that came out of GSMA for a very, very long time. And to all the Camara leaders to making such an amazing progress on having such a vibrant Linux Foundation project and creating standardization for the APIs. So I don't want to talk too much, so I will just say in 2 sentences, we've been doing alignment around telcos for almost 7 years now, starting with blockchain-based settlement and also creating tools for developers by our developers. We're already backed by big industry participants on our previous activity, but today we're going to show you the stuff we've been working on very hard for the last couple of years and introduce the Glide product family. But just to explain what we're doing, we're basically allowing developers to access to the natural environment that they have, just using cloud providers where they spend most of the time doing infrastructure and buying APIs and compute and storage through, and using the Glide aggregation layer connecting to multiple telcos. This is creating a frictionless developer experience. It allows to create roadmap alignment through a special alignment mechanism that we've created, and it allows the participants, like the telcos, to capture more value than they used to do, and they are in the existing scenarios. So I'm very, very honored to have Sridhar here that heads our telecom partnership for Google Cloud, that we collaborated closely together in the last several months to really create this wonderful developer experience, and I will let you present this work.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Eran. So from Google's side, really what we see, we've been engaged with both OGI and Camara since the inception for the last couple of years. And what we've seen over the last couple of years is the significant shift in momentum from how the ecosystem has developed from this stage where they were thinking of what APIs to develop and so on and so forth. And some of that you heard in the panel before. So clearly, from our perspective, we want to lean in and help foster the development of this ecosystem with what we do best, which is build and run world-class developer communities, right? So with Google, we got multiple such communities from the cloud perspective, from Android, and quite a few others. So that's what we want to lean in, and that's where we bring value, and that's what we want to continue to work with partners such as ClearX and others to get to the next step of extracting and unlocking that value, right? So what is it that we do with our, specifically in this partnership, is to bring a cloud marketplace which has best-in-class curation and cataloging of the products, including API products, making those products easily discoverable for the developer community, providing a single billing mechanism, and then, of course, working with partners such as ClearX, create the aggregation layer that he explained in the previous slide. But providing this front end, essentially exposing these APIs to literally planet scale community of developers, that's what we really believe is going to accelerate this entire effort to the next step of truly unlocking that monetizable use case that can be deployed. As I think one of the participants said before, there are still no good answers of what the killer app is for this, what is the end here. The end is really to open this up to the developer community, and then they would figure out what the killer app is. And that's really where we play a role. So with that, I'll turn it back to Eran.
Thank you. So it's really been a great honor and pleasure working with you this last several months. So you can see we are introducing here a new platform called Glide, and this is the brand name we're going to use for these kind of tools. So what is it all about before we're going to demonstrate it? So you can see there are 3 layers around here. So layer 1 is just the exposure layer. This is something that you've seen people on stage here from Telefonica, from Vodafone, from Orange, talking about how they exposed the network capabilities through the Camara APIs. And this is a great standard, and we see a lot of adoption around this. And the many telcos that have submitted into the Open Gateway commitment to implement the Open Gateway ones out of that. So in that layer, we help telcos that are still early in this game to help them expose their network capability, connect it to the backend systems, to the billing system, and so on. Layer 2 is the Open Gateway syndication platform. This is where we have the telco finder. This is a unique service. It's like a DNS that allows you to know, based on an IP address or MSISDN, a phone number, which telco needs to be routed. And we are in discussion with all cloud providers and other aggregators to use this and other parts of our aggregation stack. This aggregation stack basically allows universal credentials, and we're going to demo this in a second, to access a wide variety of APIs and wide variety of operators. The idea is to abstract the complexity from the developer even further, and through partnerships like the one we have with Google Cloud, to make it so easy you can do it less than 10 minutes. The last part, the Glide family of APIs, are going to be a set of products like Verify, Call Quality, AI Context, and others that are going to enable developers to even further simplify what they need to do in order to use that. We're going to work together with all the other aggregators to basically allow integration across the market. And we're going to show today how integrated to the Telefonica production environment through the Google Cloud integration, we're going to enable an application around one of the use cases. So this is an ultra-fast integration to Open Gateway APIs. We can integrate with telco with very little time, and we have some solutions for the long-tail integration. For developer, this is a multi-cloud, multi-telco, multi-language environment where wherever you are, you can work with the tools that you know. It's built on the clouds, and it allows to get your billing immediately. As a developer, you don't need to ask your boss to make a new contract. You can just run the API, get it on your API bill. And it takes less than 10 minutes to deploy. Let's see how it goes in action. So what we're going to show today is a simple demonstration that basically a developer goes to the Google Cloud. Now, this is an alpha version. This is a private preview that we are doing, and we've just managed to finish this a couple of days ago, and the blog post was published today. So this is not yet available for all the developers, but we are working together very hard to get it out in the market as soon as possible. So what you're going to see is available just for us at the moment, but you will have access to this very soon. And then you go ahead to the standard API library, you subscribe for a service, SIM swap number, Verify, Quality on Demand, all the services we saw everybody talking about today. And very easily you get into this portal that you can get your credentials. We're going to do some live coding to show how you can use the SIM swap API across multiple operators, and then how this is being reflected in the billing, native billing of Google Cloud. So we'll try to do it fast, and we'll let you afterwards ask some questions. Okay. So, you know, when I suggested back then to Lucy that I'll do a live coding session, I was expecting to get some challenges, so I hope everything will work fine. This is a real demo running on the cloud. So what I'm showing you doesn't need anything installed on your computer. Everything is going to run on the Google Cloud environment. So you can see this is the standard API library. What we are adding here, together with the Google Cloud folks, is this new communication category for developers, okay? Here you have the SIM swap, number verify, device location, and you're going to get more and more of this. And this is branded under the Open Gateway Initiative, okay? This is an example for one API. This is a SIM swap API. We're getting to the standard page here, and we can see the payments and everything. We can click here, subscribe. And what it does, it takes us to a standard order page of every service that we have on like API service in Google Cloud. So we can see the prices, we can get estimation of how much it's going to cost us every month, and we can just agree to these terms and condition and click submit. So what is happening now, this is communicating through the Glide platform and creating the relevant orders in all the connected operators. So a lot of magic is done behind the scene. We fully integrated the TM Forum Operator APIs, TMF 931, and we are about to integrate all the other TMF standards as they are coming along. And so all of that has been used now behind the scenes. And now what we can do is to go to this co-branded portal that we created together, which is Open Gateway Initiative together with Google Cloud. So here on this environment, you have your SIM swap area, where you can go to GitHub page and go back to Google Cloud. You can copy the credentials, but the cool part here in Start Building, you have multiple languages. So you have Node.js, you have Python, you have Java, you have Rust, and you can just go ahead and copy this code and just enter the credentials, and we'll be able to see that working, okay? So I'm going to go now here to the Cloud Shell environment. For Google Cloud. This is a really cool tool, if you didn't use it, by the way. It has a VS Code installed in a web interface, and you're able to basically access it online. So let's go ahead here, and I'll open here a folder. That's going to be the demos folder. Okay. And now what I'll do is I'll use a new folder I've just created for this called MWC. So if I go here to the terminal, okay, and I go to the demos and MWC folder, I can now go ahead and install the package of Open Gateway. So you see we have here on NPM already publicly available. You can go ahead and install this package. All the getting started guide, how you can program this, the code sample, and link to the full documentation that we have on that in all the different languages. You can understand the overview, understand how to make it happen in every language, and so on. So we strongly encourage you to go and check that out. Now, I'll go back here to my cloud editor. So to install that, all I need to do is to say npm install and then OGI SDK. Let's go ahead and fetch all the things that is necessary for me to run this. So that was easy, right? Now, let's go back here to the editor. So if I go now, I will create a new file, and I'll call it SimSwap. That's a TypeScript file. And I'm going to go and paste what I just copied from that environment, right? You remember this co-branded portal. Now I need one more thing. I need to copy all fields of the authentication, so my client secret, my client ID, and then paste them here. Sorry, let me just close this. So let's do this. I'm just going to paste it here. So you see, this is the URL. This is the client ID and secret just generated for me when I did the order. Okay? Now, this is a very simple one. It just goes and does the SIBA flow, so polling to see if I have authorization. We're using SIMs that were pre-authorized for this. Did we lose the video? Okay, got it back. And then what we're doing, we're calling the SDK, and we are saying, let's check if this SIM is swapped. So very simple, right? This is all you need to write. Now, I had here some files with some numbers. Let me just copy one of these numbers. This is a number in the Telefonica network. I'll go here, and I'll copy it, and I paste it here, okay? So that's it. This is all the coding that I had to do. Now, let's see if it's working, right? So I'm going to run this command just to run this SIM swap. And this is now using the telco finder, understanding that this is a Telefonica Spain server, calling this server and bringing back the result. So you can see here, we got a result. Is SIM swapped? False. So this is a SIM swap. This is a phone that was not swapped lately. Now, what I can do is I can go to my coding environment, so back to the editor, and I can do another thing. You know, there's another service in SIM swap. I can ask if, so you see, get last SIM date, okay? So let's see when was the last time that this SIMs was swapped. So let's call it date swapped, yeah? And just do another console log to log this one, okay? That's it. So I just invoke a new API that was that simple in the SIM swap stack. I go back to this terminal, I run it again, and what we should get is the same answer that we got, false, but now we should get a date around that, right? So you can see this is a very persistent customer of Telefonica, already more than 20 years using the same SIM. I will not tell you who it is. So another cool thing that we can do now, is we can go back to this editor, and we can also print the content of the token. So if I'm going to log now this session dot, so you see how easy it is, and I can just log this token if I go back and run it. So one of the things that we are doing is we are sending back to the client side the original telco, the original token that we get from the telco, right? So in this example, and who can read what's written here? No, okay. But there is a cool trick. You can go to JW2IO and just go ahead and paste this, right? And then you can see this decoded. So this is a Telefonica token that we actually got now from the production system to use this. Now, let's see the really cool thing. So we said this is a multi-operator system. So we've been using also, we've integrated to the open lab environment of Orange. This is available. You can all go ahead, log in. They did an amazing job creating a very easy way for developers to do it. So our team did it, and we've connected to this. So we'll put an Orange number that appears on the website, and this number is known to be SIM swapped, okay? So this is for testing purposes. We're going to put this number in, save it, go back to the terminal, run it again, and then this is now going to the telco finder, understanding this is not a Telefonica Spain number, this is actually a Orange France number, and you see the token looks different, and we see the SIM swap is true. So this SIM was swapped, and we can then copy this different token coming from a different API gateway all together. We're going to put this here, and we're going to see that this is an Orange token, okay? So this is ready to aggregate all existing Open Gateway compatible and Camara compatible telcos, and we can do these integrations sometimes in a matter of hours. So you can expect seeing more and more telcos available on this platform. So we've shown how easy it is to subscribe to this, take the code, run it in a fully web environment. Of course, you can do the same also on a standalone VS Code. So here we have many more demos that we can show you at later times. We've implemented number verification and other types of demos. But I want to show you what I think is, the coolest thing here. We've done all of that, and I'm, as a developer, I needed no credit card. I didn't to ask my boss for permission. I was just browsing the web, finding about it. And I didn't need anybody to go and buy something. But I get this build now on my cloud provider account. So we can see all these calls around SIM-swap, Telco Find that we've been doing the last few days to test it. And this is already built on the Google Cloud environment. So I don't know how many minutes it took, if it was less than 10 or a bit more than 10, but what we've just seen is from zero to a working application and build, and this is now ready for production. People can go and do it. So not yet, we are still finalizing some things, but this is how easy it is. Thank you. So, any questions or thoughts around this? Maybe a microphone?
Regarding to the, because this API retrieved the information, no? But what happens if this mobile number, the operator not provide or has not implemented the...
They say that if it's a question that you have the next slide about, it's an excellent question. So we even have something better than that. We have a link to answer your question. We didn't coordinate this. You don't know us, right? So if you're going to scan this QR code, that will get you into a live application demonstrating both the Telco Finder and the number verify APIs using the same API you've just seen. So if you put your number and this works, you will see which telco you are with. If it's already integrated with us, it will do the number verify, and it's not, it will just give you the name of the telco. In reality, what you will get is a response from our API that this is the case, and then you know that you need to encourage this telco to connect to the Glide ecosystem. So, to Open Gateway Initiative.
Thank you.
Which provider you got? Yes. Any others that managed to make it work? Yeah? Yes? Okay. The magic trick worked. This is, by the way, this application you see was built in less than a day using the tools that you just seen on stage. So this is how simple it is to create new applications using Open Gateway, using Google Cloud, using the Glide ecosystem. Any more questions? So I would ask last question that I was curious about. Who in the audience have wrote more than 10 lines of code in your life? Amazing. Okay, this is the right audience. I'm so happy that you're all here. I'm very excited from everything that is going to come. We're looking forward to integrate more and more telcos in the next few months and to do a proper launch of this to the developer community. We're going to engage developers where they are and make sure that they will use these new APIs to do verify use cases, to do anti-fraud use cases, to do call quality use cases, and to get these classes to look normal. I want to thank you very much for your great participation, and thank you very much, Sridhar, for all the collaboration. Thank you.